Thanks to each of you viewers for 700 views in 7 days. Gathered friends, welcome to Rated Exploited. Like and subscribe to empower the world of Matanui. Each gesture strengthens unity with the Bionicle. Now, let us delve into the lore of LEGO Technic. This video required much contemplation, delving into the lore that I'm familiar with and especially new. But it's something I love as much as Bionicle. I can't consider it flawless because rarely anything is. A comparison is Toy Story 3, something I can think of with no flaws. But like Bionicle, it truly is a quest, just trying to find any nitpick or one little thing that could make it better. But like the movie I just referenced, Bionicle has little to it that is detrimental to the quality of the series. Nothing really derails it as the metaphor goes. From here, I suggest we go chronologically, no pun intended. I have selected a dishonorable mention, that being the Bionicle masks from 2006. Not compatible with the heads of the previous figures, but I've learned to love these concoctions. Entirely made of rubber, well designed, unique, and less traditional, but a standout amongst the lineup. The first 2 years of Bionicle do lack in variety and especially contrast of pieces, such as the Toa and Toa Nuva have the same bodies, the same feet for example, but they're more of a refined figure. Yeah, that'd be the best way to put it. Silver was the perfect complementary to each color, much like we find in Super Sentai and especially Power Rangers. I still cannot get behind white as a contrast. I rarely find it to be any improvement over black, and especially gold.
You want an idea? How about give up?
2003, one of the top contenders among the fanbase, though there are some more glaring flaws. The first one obviously being the video game adaptation. Names were butchered, and environments were nothing as we know them depicted on the website and the comic books. That only made the movie that much better. And then of course we have the Burger King toys. I could show this to any fan, and they'd second guess themselves if they're even Bionicle related. They're not made by LEGO, so... ugh. Dude, I have nothing good to say about these. Jumping into 2004, one of my absolute favorites. The major thing that comes to mind is the Vaki build quality. I only have a single figure and never reassembled him because his pieces literally were so brittle they were snapping apart. One thing I point out that was corrected in the movie of all things, the Toa actually had a heavy contrast of their armor to their main color, as the Toa Metru are made to look archaic and industrial design from an earlier time. Lacan has plenty of gold along with his red, makes him a gorgeous figure, but really good on the animators to make this decision for the movie. 2005, listed under the seasonal rot section of tvtropes.com. It's perhaps my least favorite, especially just how much better the following year picks up. I don't feel the villains following Makuta as they were the first could really stack up. I also want to say the entirety of the year set in Metru Nui's ruins essentially. It's like Grimdark, and we all know Batman Begins released the same year, so at that point probably following a trend. But what really bothers me most has to be my least favorite Bionicle set, and that is the Visorak Gate. This thing looks cheap, it has very few Technic pieces, and this was the original year LEGO debuted the playsets. I've never seen a Bionicle set of this scale just turn me off. 2006, my favorite character finally earned the torch of becoming a Toa of Fire. As much as I love 2006, having a whole new identity to Bionicle, what turned me off about it? Honestly, the transparent pieces of multiple figures, especially Toa Jala. But then we have the Happy Meal figures. Not made by LEGO, nor do they mimic LEGO. It was action figure versions of our LEGO sets. Miniatures, essentially. Wouldn't say the figures are collectible. This is more of a marketing toy to buy Bionicle rather than partaking in Bionicle. Into the depths of 2007, one major flaw comes to mind. The Sea Squid. If I was a Toa Mari, I would not be intimidated by these. And building off the previous year, we had more Happy Meal McDonald's figures.
I can join the underwater battle for the Mask of Life with the heroic Bionicle figure inside my McDonald's Happy Meal.
Out of the depths and into the celestial of 2008, what comes to mind is the polarized comparison between the Midax Skyblaster and the Ninra Ghost Blaster. Introduced at opposite ends of the year, Midax Skyblasters pack a punch, and the Ninra Ghost Blaster, yes, at least they work, but pack less of a punch than the Sea Squid. 2010 I find to be quite anticlimactic for what is Bionicle. We released the stars with the last few comics, LEGO quietly discontinuing all figures, and Greg Farshty taking what time remained of expanding on the story through the website. And yes, I did skip 2009, but going through Bara Magna and the Glatorian itself, I couldn't find anything I disliked. I'm convinced LEGO wanted to reinvent Bionicle with a new setting and characters, with the amount of lore behind this year alone. Amongst the years, my good friend and fellow Bionicle fan adores 2009 the most. But the biggest takeaway, I can admire how LEGO is always innovating.
New Glatorian legends from Bionicle.
It's a quality through a 10-year run that I couldn't ask anything less. I have yet to discover flaws amongst G2 from 2015 and 16. Obviously, the corrugate packaging comes to mind. Heck, I knew a family that would dispose of the canisters as soon as building the figure. Who does that? LEGO made the canisters to be reused and preserved. Keeps it out of the trash, but you have no reason to recycle either. That only makes it all the more charitable. I'm proud to be here, serving what there is. It was difficult looking through something I hold so dear, finding its flaws and where it could be improved. This week, I feel accomplished in flipping the script. It's further entwining the dynamic of Bionicle. LEGO launched at the start of the millennium and the rise of the internet. Definitively, I believe there was no superior ground for Bionicle to nourish. Thanks to each of you Technic fanatics. Leave a like for today and subscribe for tomorrow. This has been Rated Exploited, forever your fellow gamer.